Could do. Depends how they feel about the matchup.
Zeri Lulu is a staple here in the LCK especially.
Does mean there's a bit of a risk, right? There's a lot of gank potential set up for DRX.
Oh, set up in the top lane, kinda, almost?
Okay.
Yeah, or just be way better. You know, you can certainly snowball with a composition like this. It could work out, but I'm a little bit worried. Let's dive into the rift for game number 1.
Seems like
very funny.
Seems like a necessary thing in your daily commute, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of missed out on that one.
I did, and I daily commuted a lot in that car as well. It was not embarrassing. I loved it. I loved it a lot. It was a fantastic car. Don't be doing too much as the Leona at level 1.
Imagine if you had that.
Lulu's Zeri going to be feeling pretty good.
Imagine if you had that in League of Legends where you could kind of like bargain for items in the shop, you know? Boris had a sale
like a
every
barter
so often.
system, and that's kind of cool. We're going to see it attempted at least. There is a ward. Good position here, but Sponge gives himself up immediately. Let's see whether Frog finds it. He does not, but they don't pick up the turret aggro. So they get the flash, and Sponge is out of there.
Dundun's under too much threat in the late game from a Camille in the side lane, but the front line that Nongshim will have, combined with those 2 strong carries and an Enchanter, hard to play against. Dundun has hit level 6. Frog isn't there yet, though.
Yeah, picks up a rock as Sponge comes in, lands that spear very nicely. And Dundun, with the Impale available, completely reading this situation immediately as well. You saw Sponge moving already off these grubs, but Sylvie's going to flash on top of him. Permafrost comes down, explosive charges coming on through there. The spear going to go wide. Not able to get too much, but that flash coming out in trade for Sylvie's. Yeah, and DRX kind of don't. Sylvie going to come on over, does not find the blue buff, and also that's the pounce on top of the Sejuani, and that could just be first blood going over to Yahoo. It is! Can they get another one? What the heck was Fisher doing? Oh dear, 2-0 here for DRX. The Nidalee, absolutely fantastic pick, taking full control of the early game. Extraordinary play.
So definitely looking to sort of pick up those carries as a priority in these fights. Right now they're starting up the Dragon. I'm not sure Nongshim are going to be able to get close to this in time.
Going down exceptionally fast, so that is going to be the Securers. Now Sylvie looking for an opportunity here, does find the ulti, but it's onto a Leona. That is dangerous. And it's a lot of damage being taken, but Jiwoo just trying to answer back. Fisher doing that front flip to get into the fight, and it's Pleta that tries to sacrifice himself. They lock down Teddy, though, and they'll grab Pleta as well. It's a double, and I think some certification over to Jiwoo.
Having it like your grandma has, you know?
I hope he invites Teddy, because Teddy doesn't have any plates. We're going to have a look from Jiwoo's perspective. As, yeah, he's just frontlining. He is an absolute monster. Calls for the wild growth there as well.
Yeah, and using the wild growth aggressively is so much better now.
They used that Richard yet, obviously, but see where it can go. Get them some extra money. Pleta moving aggressively forward here. Solarflare going to connect onto Sylvie. Spear's going to be landing here, and he's pretty tanky, but just not tanky enough. Buster shot, though! Executes the Nidalee. I was not expecting a 1-for-1. For Nongshim fans, but they're pretty important items here on the DRX side. Like, I think if you're gonna fight, like, this is the time where you... Oh, that's not really what you want, but Sponge is the one that's really gonna get punished because Jiwoo is here. That Captain Jack was beautiful out of the Zeri. Still does have to use it, but now Fisher is just taking a Mountain Dragon for free. Sponge is in the dirt. Teleport coming towards the bottom side, though, as Dundun and Jiwoo looking to do it once again. And Yahoo was just left on his lonesome, wants to be able to take down some health bar of this turret, and will at least be able to grab a couple of Triforce procs before he does eventually definitely go down. There he goes. Jiwoo going to be able to get his 4th of the game. And not a lot of vision over this wall as they are looking for the turn. Teddy, nowhere to go, no options at all. It was a cunning ruse. We thought that maybe we'd just cast a curse, and we didn't. They knew what was going on. They were baiting DRX in.
Maybe it's just Nidalee. You know, if Nidalee's on the enemy team, your team just becomes godlike.
I do think that DRX didn't do a lot of favors for themselves with the draft, but I also think that Nongshim have been playing expertly with what they've been given as Frog looks for that opportunity on Jiwoo, and Jiwoo will not give it to him. Never mind. He tries to dash away, but it does not work. Still, he stands his ground. Finally, he falls down, but I think the damage may have been done. That flash, pretty sexy there from Fisher as well as Pleta. He's going to get impaled and destroyed, and I think Jiwoo, I think that he may have just done it. Stayed alive through it all until the very end. And Nongshim, they're going to break open the base and maybe even just win right here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right idea from DRX to try and kill Jiwoo, but you just saw how long he survived, how much damage he's able to do in that situation with the Runans, able to counteract the play. And now Nongshim just looking to end here.
Yeah.
No opposition from DRX. Teddy up in 6. DRX, Sponge up in now, but he's not going to be able to do anything.
Nope. He's going to have to watch his Nexus go down once again. But having a look at these damage numbers, right, like Jiwoo tripling what Teddy was able to put out after Teddy having absolutely heroic performances on the Kai'Sa so far this season. From back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, you could. I feel like I probably would just go Alistair here, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like they're going to do that.
Yeah, they're going to do that.
They're going to do that.
It makes me a little bit...
yeah, I'm kind of thinking it would be the Jax jungle, you know, specifically in the Viego is obviously very auto-based.
Tristana, that is going to be a bit of a worrisome sign. Let's jump onto the Rift here for game number 2.
Those janky skins we used to have.
Oh, so good.
Like Lollipoppy and so.
As Pletter is going to face check and then immediately regret his decision and walk away. Does manage to find the wall, but he's not out of the woods just yet. Sand Soldier spotting what's going on here, as Pletter still hasn't flashed and won't have to, but will miss out on a bit here.
So the bad news is that he's obviously going to be late to lane. The other bad news is he actually burned both health potions there.
Got it. What about the good news?
If you're a Nongshim fan, this is a fantastic start.
Ah, you're not allowed to do that. You were talking about it from his perspective.
Yeah, I kind of didn't have an answer on that one.
I'm going to look to move around. I think spotted that Fisher did put that ward down.
And now Sponge will just do the thing of going, yep, he cleared that camp. Oh, we're going to head up to the Raptors. Actually, he's skipping the Raptors. He's going to look in here.
He's just going to face check. Does manage to get right on top of Sylvie here. Finds the counter-strike as well. Level 4 for the Viego, but doesn't have very much health. Be able to get a Q off, and let's see who's going to be able to lock this one down. It's Sponge that collects the red.
Man.
So that is actually huge. He'll also be able to get up here towards the top side as Dundun going aggressive towards Frog. Has a full minion wave to deal with here. And Sponge going to have that one smote away. Should still be able to get a few of these little rocks, and regardless, this is good news for the Jax. Kind of feeling like he's back in the game.
Someone gets hit, and this one's being...
I think they just stun each other in the sky over and over again.
You reckon? I feel like some dude's just going to be, you know, walking his dog or something. He gets hit by an arrow, and he's frozen for like 7 years or something.
No, but remember, like, League of Legends is played like hovering above.
Oh, yeah.
So when that gets fired out, it just goes off into the atmosphere.
The internet is a thing.
To the internet.
I feel like there was a terrible idea to dive into the lore.
I know.
As a topic.
When we are completely ill-prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to know things about the lore, but now it's all just irrelevant.
I feel like it's not even just like us as there is other casters on the LCK team who I feel like would have done a much better job. I'm certain Mao knows plenty about the lore.
I'm sure he does too. I imagine D-Gun does too, because like he did the base thing, like predicted Nongshim, knew that they were going to win.
I don't know if you know this, but Mao actually studied lore at university. He has a law degree.
Oh, that's why he says he's not a lawyer, because you don't spell lawyer like that. He studied L-O-R-E.
Right, exactly.
Oh, he'd be a lawyer.
And that's why he talks about video games instead of being like the guys from Suits, you know?
It makes sense. Oh. Man, that's actually kind of ruined things for me, though. Oh, we might have a bit of a fight here. That's an immediate flash out from Yahoo. They do manage to secure the dragon. As out goes Sponge with the assistance of a Buster Shot. Max range shot, though. He's going to connect onto Guga, and he knows that he is dead. That is going to be first blood very, very late here at 11 minutes and 40 seconds. Going to Teddy. There's trading happening as there's an Emperor's Divide also. Fisher is going to take a few Sand Soldier autos. Guga just dealing with that control ward in the meantime.
Okay, I'm not really following the lore now because
yeah, sorry.
It started to talk about Sand Soldiers. Are we in Shurima now?
Yeah, no, we're not. We're still looking for a blessed land, looking to trade with wealth for immortality.
Oh, like the plates in the top lane.
Exactly, and the plates may have some of the, you know, the Fountain of Youth there, which I believe is the storyline that we're alluding to here, as he does manage to take that plate.
Yeah.
But apparently that's not the case. Not canon.
Yeah, I thought that was the crossover.
Was that retcon?
Maybe that was back in the day. You know, back when we had like King Rammus and Chosen Master Yi?
Yeah.
Back in the day where they were like, you know, we can do a little crossover.
It wasn't really, though, was it? All right, Fisher is going to get the bad news. Yahoo immediately jumps on him.
Oh, there's Platter.
And yeah, there's the depth charge. You can't dodge that one. as he's now waiting for the rocket jump. Beautifully done there, gets the flash out.
But it's just literal support, you know?
Yeah, straight up.
He's giving his money to his teammates, not taking...
That's where Pike gets all that money from, I think. I imagine that's probably part of the lore. As we could have a bit of a fight here. Teleport in from Fisher. Does take a little bit of damage there, but isn't too worried about it otherwise. As Nongshim setting themselves up for this first Mountain Drake. Guga just going to try and turn this engage. They managed to pick up the Jax, and he is absolutely destroyed. Beautifully done there. Guga just making things happen, but now Pleta going to be able to take him down. The punishment is instant, and so is the sadness on Digon's face as they take control of this one. Another hook! And that Buster Shot, fantastic. Into the backline goes the Azir, but there's no one that was ready for it. Sylvie is going to do his attempt, and it's going to work way better as bring the man back up on the screen yet again, because Nongshim, they'll win the fight in the end. So he immediately repositions, and Teddy is fighting him right now. There's the flash, the barrier comes in, the burst fires, and finally Teddy will be able to take him down. Man, that looked dicey. But he's able to get the 1v1 against his opposite number.
The gold is pretty even, but Nongshim have 3 dragons. You can see here, you know, it's this Q that ends up missing that's so close.
Yeah,
follows through in the end.
Let's go.
Let's go. No translation required there. I know that feeling, you know, when you're so jazzed, you're so locked in.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite work out.
When you just get zeried.
Yeah, you just get zeried. He's here towards the bottom side. Fisher going to turn up as Dindin going to try and catch that wave. The rest of the team going to be here, but some free time with this outer turret and a little bit late on the rotation towards mid here, and they will lose their outer turret. Does mean that they get control of the river. DRX now moving over. Another hook is going to connect. There's the knock-up, and I don't know what Dindin was doing, but it just wasn't going to work out very well. As now Frog is throwing rocks around and Nongshim just trying to get out. The flash comes in, the hook, it still lands. Unbreakable Will does come on through there. It's another great headbutt as Sylvie is looking for the resets, but he's gonna be denied. Sponge looking to jump on top of Jiwoo here. Extendo Beam just cuts him down. That is a lot of damage. Nongshim still trying to stay amongst this, still trying to get a little bit of a way in. I don't think they're going to be able to do it 4 versus 3. 10 seconds until Dundun is up with teleport available. But this dragon, not long for the world right now. Fisher laying down these autos. Frog able to soak them relatively decently as the Sand Soldiers come on in. He's just not stopping. Yeah, I mean, Frog is about 50% right now. Sponge looking to take down his blue buff. Still very dangerous. This Baron does a lot of work, and they're like fish in a barrel. Sponge diving on in Emperor's Divide, and they're cutting them down. The Zeri takes the Baron, and Nongshim. It was one heck of a Hail Mary, but I don't think God was on their side this time. Fish is looking to try and grab themselves a little prog on the other side, and Digon, you know, he hasn't been here for that long. He doesn't really know, and got a taste of it right here as Fisher, he's split pushing, just wanting to try and pad those stats a little bit before this one, but Nexus turrets are now under fire. Frog will turn up to try and answer this push. And speaking of pushes, Teddy able to get a few more autos into this turret. We'll be able to take that first one down. Jiwoo wanting to get a little bit of an angle here as in goes the Skarner. That's another knock-up as Pleta going to get thrown around. They're looking to try and take him out here. He does get the ultimate off this time, but the Impale does come on through. Dundun not going to be able to all out his way out of this one. And it's a 4 versus 4, but Fisher is still very strong. Teddy taking a few autos there as they do try and dive on top. It's a 1-for-1 in the end of that little trade as well. As the Counter-Strike comes in, and Fisher! Oh no, he gets pushed back into the Counter-Strike as Teddy! He will go down in the end, but that is going to be the ace. It's a triple for the Jax, and 1 Nexus turret to be taken down. DRX will even out the series.
Looked so close at the end. Looked like Sylvie maybe was going to get the resets there, but the bounce back comes through. Sponge with a clutch play with the Counter-Strike.
That is what has won in both of these games thus far. Shoutouts, yeah, a lot of damage done on the Azir in the backs of these team fights. Very well done. But to go back to the Digon point, it is now side selection for Nongshim. Brand, that's going to be the lock-in instead. Sort of a pick your poison when it comes to these casters in the jungle. Oh my goodness, I am so exceptionally surprised that it is the Zeri lock-in.
Mostly for Digon.
Mostly for Digon, yeah. But you're up against an undefeated, undying crocodile. Let's get onto the rift. Sylvie starting off on his blue buff.
This is the worst part.
Yeah, the first camp.
This is Struggle Street.
I'm kiting it though. It's fine.
It'll die eventually. Eventually.
Yep. Just wandering around. Does manage to get that smite there. She has been very, very successful. Hook going to connect here as already Jiwoo going to be lit on fire. Does barrier, but you can see down to about 200 here, and DRX winning out on this fight. But Pleta going to be forced to flash. They stood their ground, and they were rewarded on the side of Nongshim. Very nicely done. Do manage to sweep this one out. They get information of the Xin Zhao's location as well, as there's the flash. Crash into the wall there as well, as Frog's going to have to flash out of the way. And Dundun, very aggressive. Trader flashes, though, in the end. And you can see Sponge now kiting his way towards his Grump. And pings go out. Nongshim know exactly where he is. Good heads up there.
Yeah, and as I was saying, I think when bot lanes are going really heavily toe-to-toe, it's so good for jungle to be able to make their way down there and just easily pick up the scraps and just cash in if they're already trading heavily. But you see DRX's bot lane being a lot more cautious now. Sponge will get 2 of these grubs. I suspect he'll leave.
Yep.
After that. He's at level 6 though. You know, he still has top prio. We'll see what he opts to do.
He's actually just going to come on over here and make sure that this reset does come on through. It does. Grub goes back.
Needing a reset, so happy just to trade those objectives across. And the next dragon will be Hextech, so no Hextech Soul in the cards.
Yep. Could be a Cloud still.
Could be.
I'll hold out hope for that one. As Guga helping with the push here. As Teddy just holds the fort. Nautilus heading back home. Pleta will be back down here. Forced to flash. Does make it out. Pleta gets down here once again as well. Now we're looking for another angle. Teddy throws out the ultimate here just to make sure that they can get another dive angle off. And Sponge, will he be the one to start this one? As there's the depth charge. Jiwoo just going for the reposition. As Pleta having to get out of there. Sponge has to throw down the ulti as Dundun has made his way in. No ulti, that would have been pretty good. But Sponge is, yeah, no man's land. And it will be the kill going over to Guga, which is not the best. But still, first blood going to Nongshim. Oh, yep. Nongshim going to even out the grub score here. As Dundun moves down to help out. Guga already in position. Rotation up from Jiwoo, doesn't have his ultimate available just yet. He's got a teleport from Yehu making his way back. This could be another fight as Zenith Blade brings Guga in there. Finds the Solar Flare as well. Has the ultimate from the Brand doing a lot of work. They do just close in onto Sponge, but it is going to be the kill for Teddy to start it off. And the Xin Zhao just lasted for so long. Jiwoo now running the wrong direction. Does manage to grab the kill onto this Nautilus for the moment. But I don't know whether he's going to be able to make it out of this one. A couple of turret shots, a barrier to help out as Teddy just skates on over. A blast cone comes in. And I think Jiwoo might be okay as Extendo Beam doesn't even need to be avoided, just continues to walk.
And a big takeaway here is so many summoners burned, and now the teams are posturing for a dragon fight. Fisher has flash, and he's the only one.
There's another hook, this time landing onto Guga, who does try to use his Zenith Blade to get out. I just don't know whether it's going to be enough here. So much long range damage. Never mind. Jiwoo makes his way in. Guga still going to be the target, but he is going to survive. And the Brand doing so much work. Teddy trying to get a kill back, and he does kill the Brand, but it's a double kill from the grave, as well as Jiwoo picking up 2-4 on the ground. And Pleta really wants to kill this ward. Might be allowed to. They do get a ward over. He flashes on in. They look for Guga, who acquiesces as he Zenith Blades in. Another hook is going to come down there, but Dundun, he's going to turn up in the nick of time. They find the Impale. He is stunned, but it does not matter. And once again, DRX decide they want to engage on a Leona and get instantly punished.
Yeah, they tried for Jiwoo, but he just flashes away. They go, okay, well, I guess we'll take the Leona. No, that's not the take. That's not the play. Nongshim immediately punished with Herald in pocket. So easy to translate this into more. The only saving grace for DRX is that Baron isn't up yet.
Yep.
Nongshim, and they're just really trying to make sure that doesn't happen. They've already started the Dragon up.
Yep. Banana Brush being fought for here as Guga once again going in. Yeah, Frog wants to try and find that angle. Does make it in towards this back line. And now Sponge fighting Guga. Guga might actually get stunned up here as Frog's first death. It's gonna happen right here. There's the killer instinct, and Jiwoo doesn't care about his KDA. As Dundun wanting to find Teddy, there's the Impale, and he's so dead. There is another kill, and Nongshim looking to make Dagon's dreams a reality. I mean, it worked 33% for 33% of their kills. As, all right, they have got on top of Jiwoo. There's a hook that's going to connect. They do manage to at least take down the Kaiser for now, but my God! The brand damage is revolting! And there goes Sponge, the first kill for Fisher in this game as well, as he picked up so many assists. And oh my gosh, that brand damage was just disgusting. Yeah, me too. I guess he pressed an ulti button or something like that at some point.
Yeah, still a lot. Oh, Teddy.
Teddy does have the skate away, but he also has this way of getting out as well. He's no longer there.
Like, I have no doubt it's going to be Sylvie POG. I've already filled mine out.
Oh, yeah.
In.
Oh, 100%.
But Guga has been so much better today. He was the worst performing member of the team. He's been popping off.
And look at him go in once again. He's going to get thrown into the back line. He will get punished, will get taken down. That was finally a little bit too much, maybe with the assistance of a caster curse. But I don't know whether it really matters as Sponge is getting chased down by Fisher, finds the last rocket onto him as well. The brand is still just disgusting. I don't have enough words to say how much damage this guy is doing. 6-1 and 11. Triple kill coming on through for Fisher. 4-0-12 on his Corki. Looking brilliant there. And Teddy, yeah, he's the human Nexus standing next to the other Nexus, and both of those Nexuses are in a lot of trouble. Do love to say that about flashes. As all right, they managed to lock down the Ocean Soul. There is a special delivery by Dindin. As Sponge presses the ult button, but it's not really the immortality that would other happens. Oh, he's golden, my God! And in the meantime, it's just fire bouncing everywhere. Yahoo! He just wants to get out of here, wants to try and get a few extra CS. And Sylvie, look at him, hands off keyboard, pretty psyched about how this game went. Oh man, he had the audacity to survive. He didn't even have to.
No,
and it still would have been amazing.
With 0-3 going into today. And you know what? I'm actually legitimately impressed at Fisher out-damaging Sylvie. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POG interview translation, joined by Jiwoo and Guger on the side of Nongshim Red Force, who just took DRX down for their first victory. Congratulations! You guys finally got the win you were longing for. Jiwoo, how do you feel? No, we were on 3 back-to-back losses, so we came here today saying we want to win. We'll definitely win. I'm actually really pleased that we were able to achieve that. And Guger, this is your first victory after your LCK comeback. How do you feel? Honestly, I didn't know that it was going to take this much to get our first win. I feel like it's just been so long since I got my victory at LoL Park, so it's very refreshing. Guger, during the loss streak, your head coach said this in the interview. He said, despite playing as if our lives are on the line, the performance isn't showing. So how did you guys manage to overcome the consecutive losses as a team? No, it applies to all teams, but whenever something doesn't go well, or even if you try so hard to fill in those parts that you lack in, it actually doesn't really go as well as the process during, as well as you think during the process. But I think we were just keeping our heads in the game, trying really hard to focus in what we need to do to fix and improve. So I think that's really something that paid off. So what did the coaching staff tell you today before the match? Today, they told me personally that I could play Kai'Sa, and they wanted us to focus on Void Grubs, trying to roam and respond really well. And I think that was pretty helpful today in the match. And Teddy, in his last interview, picked Jiwoo, you as the heir to the human Nexus. Did you see? Yeah, I did. How was that? You know, to be the heir, I had a lot of that, but to live up to the title, I want to make sure that I don't die as much from now on. And so what was the key to today's victory? So today, honestly, our team really relies on Jiwoo's carry power.
기분이 좋네요.
And I feel like it's just everything from the laning phase to being able to carry out during the team fights, just healing for AD carry, and it worked really well. And so we kept getting Kai'Sa versus Zeri matchup all match. So what are your thoughts on this matchup? I feel like over Zeri, it's really a lot better to try to playmate with Kai'Sa. So I think I definitely prefer and think that Kai'Sa is better. And so we noticed that you took Fleet Footwork. Why is that? I feel like I was just trying to go 50-50 in the laning phase, and I just told myself that I would try to win during the team fight, and I think I was just trying to go with a safer route. And Guger, you were at the CL match this week and then back to LCK today. But we saw how amazing you played in CL, so how was playing in both leagues back to back? You know, going on stage and playing on the stage isn't actually that. It doesn't take too much from me, and I don't think it was something that got in the way of my schedule. But I think I was just trying to get something, just trying to take away from both of the leagues. And I think that's just something that a way that I could have grown, and I was able to apply some things. And so in your personal career, this is your first victory with Leona. How do you think Leona is right now? You know, back when I played long time ago, I honestly can't really remember, but Leona back then wasn't very good. But now, Leona is like a tier 1, very good support in the meta. It's just something that you definitely have to know how to play currently. And Jiwoo, starting this season, you were able to play with Fisher and Guger. And Guger, given that he's a veteran, he is 10 years older than you. How is it playing with him? Yeah, I saw that he is. I knew that he's 10 years older than me, which was a little awkward, but we actually don't even talk to each other informally, and we're pretty friendly towards each other. And Guger? You know, if I were to play with someone who was 10 years older than me, it would have been really awkward. But I think Jiwoo, he's so well-rounded, and he's so down-to-earth. He just laughs it off, and I feel like he's such a good little brother. So do you want to give us a little bit of how good of a player Jiwoo is? Honestly, Jiwoo is such a great player. I think just being able to support him and then seeing him grow and scale in game, it makes me feel good, and I want to keep supporting him. And you guys have such a rough schedule ahead of you in the remaining of round 1. Would you like to share your resolution with the fans, Jiwoo? Honestly, being able to break the losing streak today, I want to make sure that we ride this momentum and win in the next upcoming match. And Guger, yeah, within the process of losing, we told ourselves that honestly, as long as we get that one win, that will be the start of our momentum. And I think this will be the starting point of our winning curve, and we'll make sure that we continue the positive outcome from now on. And that's the end of the interview from Jiwoo and Guger of Nongshim Red Force, and back to the space. Thank you.